Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look just at Bitcoin on this one, because Bitcoin is moving again. It is moving. This pitchfork's really doing my head in. Let's just sort that out. And so what I suppose most of us got in the back of our mind is it going to continue to move? What's the deal with Bitcoin? So basically, since we broke down, we consolidated in this pitchfork zone. So we found some supports and some supports and some more supports and some resistance and so on and so on and so on. And I said, when we break out of this pitchfork, that's when I would not go super turbo bullish on it, but we could assume at that point that the consolidation is over. So I'll stick to what I said. I'll assume that the consolidation now is over. So what we could be doing at this point isn't necessarily going back into this kind of parabolic move, but what we could be doing is now that the consolidation is finished, we could be accumulating at a high level, and you see this all the time. So basically, after a big move like this, it does have to consolidate and cool down. That looks like it's happened, and now basically we could be getting ready, gearing up for another move, another step up. As far as I'm concerned, I don't believe it's ready to do something quite like this yet. I don't think that's quite ready for that. But what I would be thinking is that we're going to be, I suppose, almost getting to the stage now where, not right now, but alts are obviously making a lot of money for a lot of people, and long may it continue, and the Bitcoin dominance continues to fall, which suggests that even if Bitcoin moves up like it has done, alts will continue to move up also. So there's still more money going into alts than there is into Bitcoin. What you often get on these rotations is that essentially there will become a point, especially when the smaller caps start moving, that's when the rotation is almost complete. All right, a pure cycle, a pure rotation. So now we're above the center of the Bollinger Band. We've reclaimed that area. This we can get rid of this now. It's it annoys me, that thing. It annoys me. It shifts all the time. But you've seen that it served its purpose now. We've broken out of this. So now we can go back to standard support and resistance levels. So some of these moving averages are starting to turn up, including the 10 exponential. So this could be an area of potential support if we were to break down. This is a resistance zone. It also corresponds to the top of the Bollinger Band. So for the moment, I'm not expecting a big breakout from here. It is possible that it would happen, though. And if it did happen, I'd be targeting flat zones like 40,000 for the next level of resistance. Don't think it's ready for that right now. I think if anything, we've done a decent move, and this was the Elon Musk pump, which what it is what it is, and then basically normal standard behaviour came back to fruition. So maybe that did help it to an extent, and because it essentially did break us out of here eventually. These last 3 days we've been above the centre of the Bollinger Band in what would appear to be a normal, natural fashion. And my theory is that whole situation with XRP allowed for volume to be dispersed. A lot of profit got made on there, let's just face it. A lot of profit got made from a lot of people, and a lot of people obviously did get wrecked. But the people who've made profit, I would imagine, are now distributing that in anywhere but XRP, and a lot of people would choose Bitcoin. Why wouldn't you? And I think that's what's happening across the board. We're seeing everything going up massively, including Bitcoin, and they're all going up together, but alts are still taking the lead. So that's my theory. I've got nothing to back that up. It's just a theory. There was a lot of volume got traded. $2.5 billion worth of trading volume in a 24-hour period on XRP that day. That's a lot of volume. That's a lot of profit from a lot of people, and so I see it entering the market. That's how I'm explaining this at the moment. But that aside, theory aside, let's have a look at this. So if we can maintain this 20 daily moving average, I'm perfectly fine. And to be honest with you, we may not even come down to revisit that. If we continue with a bullish move, we'll be supported on these something like the 10 exponential, which is down here at about 35. That also, I'm not saying we're going to come down there today, but I had a quick look. Around 35 is also roughly the centre of the Bollinger Band on the daily, on the 4-hourly too. These moving averages are going to be moving up every day. So with that, supports should also move up every day. We won't know until we come down to test it. So we are in resistance blue box zone at the moment. I don't see us pushing all the way up to 40, today, but this week going into the weekend, yeah, I could see that. Personally, I'd like to see it retest some of these zones down here. So that in a sense is Bitcoin. There's one thing to be aware of, which is the dollar index, which is moving in a bullish way ever so slightly, in this sort of pitchfork way. So I like my pitchforks. They're just a rough guide. They're not an exact science, but it gives us a rough idea of the strength of movement with rough support and resistance zones. And what's happening here is resistance, support, resistance, resistance, and you see what's going on here. But generally this is the channel that we're moving in. Upwards channels like this often do break to the down, so I am expecting it to break down, but for the moment it's not, and so we have to look at where is it likely to break down from. My first area I would say would be about 91.6. That is our first opportunity to break down from there, but this, you know, is more constructive than anything that we've seen in a little while. Plus we've reclaimed this moving average here, so because of all of that, I think that we will find a rejection here, but we'll still maintain this pitchfork trend, and we might even come into this zone here. And if that happens, then Bitcoin will feel the impact of that. And if Bitcoin feels the impact, I imagine crypto as a whole will feel the impact. So that's something to be aware of. So we can look at the Bitcoin chart and go, this looks nice, this looks constructive, this looks steady. But if this continues to move up, then it will have a bit of an impact on Bitcoin's price. Maybe not pushing it down as much, but perhaps hindering its performance from making big breakouts like the things that we've seen in the last few months. So that's how I'm seeing it. But at the moment, we've got to wait till this resistance of 91.6 is taken, and then see if we maintain the pitchfork. Like I say, upwards channels often break to the down, so this will, in my opinion, break down eventually and break out of the pitchfork to the down. I'm not expecting a break out, I'm expecting a break down. But as far as time frame is concerned, I don't really have one. It's a bit of a wait and watch, but Dixie is gaining in value. One thing I would say is that a lot of people, including myself and probably everybody, who's trading in any asset, is watching this Dixie and hoping that there's some kind of mad stimulus bill get passed, and that will dump the Dixie basically, and it will dump it, and it will eventually find its way back to this zone here. So this is the trading range that we've got for the Dixie, and it's tiny, isn't it? We're used to massive moves. So it's a 2.5% move from the bottom to the top, but that makes all the difference to the strength of any asset, whether it's commodity, major index, stocks and crypto alike. So that's the deal with the Dixie, and because of that we have to look at every chart now, including Bitcoin, with that in the back of our mind. So there's a lot of things in the back of our minds, isn't there? When you're trading altcoins, you've got Bitcoin in the back of your mind. When you're trading Bitcoin, you've got Dixie in the back of your mind. When you're looking at the Dixie, you've got to actually pay attention to the politics, because it does have a knock-on effect, like dominoes, that will essentially impact everything, bit by bit by bit. But not to try and overcomplicate things, let's look at things as simple as possible. We've got an upwards channel, we've got a resistance zone here, and there's likely to be a slow and steady increase in the Dixie. But at the moment, Bitcoin essentially is unaffected by that, and altcoins really just don't give a crap about it at all whatsoever. So like I say, let's not read too much into it. The Dixie is rallying to a small extent, but it's not yet had any significant impact on anything yet. But we are looking for a breakdown eventually, but that's based upon a stimulus bill basically. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thank you for watching, and take it easy.